Have you ever wondered if your neighbor's cat is smarter than your best friend's dog? This age-old question, steeped in humor and a hint of competitiveness, speaks to a deeper human curiosity, the desire to measure minds. We've been captivated by the idea of quantifying intelligence, personality, and aptitude for centuries. From ancient philosophers pondering the soul's mysteries to modern scientists mapping the brain's intricacies, the quest to understand and assess the human mind has been a constant throughout history. Our journey begins in the cradle of civilization, where ancient Greek philosophers like Plato first grappled with the nature of intelligence. Plato, never one to shy away from a good thought experiment, proposed that individuals possessed varying innate abilities. This radical notion, that we are not all born with equal mental capacities, laid the groundwork for the field of psychometrics, the science of measuring mental abilities and psychological traits. Fast forward millennia, and our fascination with measuring minds hasn't waned. If anything, it's intensified. We live in a world obsessed with assessments, from standardized tests in schools to personality quizzes on social media. We crave insights into our strengths, weaknesses, and that elusive quality we call intelligence. But how did we get here? How did we go from philosophical musings to the complex psychometric instruments we use today? The answer, as with most things in history, is a winding tale of innovation, debate, and a healthy dose of human ingenuity. Let's delve into the quirky and captivating history of psychometric tests, exploring the key milestones that have shaped our understanding of the mind. From inkblot interpretations to intelligence quotients, prepare to be surprised, amused, and perhaps even a little enlightened by the journey. Our story begins in ancient Greece, where Plato, the philosophical giant, first pondered the nature of intelligence. He believed that individuals possessed different aptitudes, a concept we now call individual differences. Plato's student, Aristotle, took this a step further, suggesting that these differences could be observed and categorized. While their methods lacked the statistical rigor of modern psychometrics, these early thinkers laid the foundation for the field. Centuries later, the scientific revolution brought about a renewed interest in measuring the mind. In the late 19th century, Sir Francis Galton, a polymath and cousin of Charles Darwin, established a laboratory dedicated to studying human variation. Galton was fascinated by heredity and believed that intelligence was largely inherited. He developed early tests of sensory acuity and reaction time, believing these simple measures could tap into underlying mental ability. However, it was Alfred Binet, a French psychologist, who made the first significant breakthrough in intelligence testing. In the early 20th century, Binet was tasked with identifying students who might need extra educational support. Binet, along with his colleague Theodore Simon, developed a series of tasks designed to assess children's mental abilities, such as memory, problem-solving, and language comprehension. This marked the birth of the first practical intelligence test, the Binet-Simon scale. Binet's work revolutionized our understanding of intelligence and paved the way for the development of the intelligence quotient, or IQ. German psychologist William Stern proposed using a ratio of mental age to chronological age to express intelligence, and thus, the concept of IQ was born. While IQ testing has been both praised and criticized over the years, its impact on education, psychology, and society as a whole is undeniable. Now let's talk about inkblots. Yes, you read that right. In the annals of psychometric history, few tests are as intriguing and controversial as the Rorschach inkblot test. Developed by Swiss psychiatrist Hermann Rorschach in the 1920s, this test presents individuals with a series of 10 ambiguous inkblot images. The task? To describe what they see. The premise of the Rorschach test is that our interpretations of these ambiguous stimuli reveal our unconscious thoughts, emotions, and personality traits. Do you see a butterfly or a menacing face, a dancing couple or a pair of lurking figures? According to Rorschach, these responses hold the key to unlocking the hidden recesses of our minds. The test gained significant popularity in the mid-20th century, becoming a staple in clinical settings and popular culture alike. However, the Rorschach test has also been the subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Critics argue that its subjective nature and lack of standardized scoring methods make it difficult to interpret reliably. They question its validity, arguing that it may not actually measure what it claims to measure. Despite the controversy, the Rorschach test remains a fascinating example of projective testing. a type of psychological assessment that relies on ambiguous stimuli to elicit responses that reveal unconscious processes. The Rorschach test, like many psychometric instruments, highlights the complex relationship between measurement and interpretation. While we strive for objective assessments, the human mind, with all its complexities, often defies easy categorization. Our interpretations are influenced by our experiences, biases, and even our mood on a given day. This inherent subjectivity is both the allure and the challenge of psychometrics. Section 4. From war rooms to workplace wellness. The two world wars had a profound impact on the development and use of psychometric tests. With the need to rapidly assess and assign recruits to suitable roles, the military turned to psychometric testing as a tool for evaluating aptitude, personality, and psychological fitness. Tests like the Army Alpha and Beta, designed to measure verbal and nonverbal intelligence, were used on a massive scale during World War I, screening millions of recruits. World War II saw the development of even more sophisticated psychometric instruments, including personality tests like the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, or MMPI. The MMPI, designed to identify psychological disorders, was initially used to screen military personnel for mental health issues, but later found widespread use in clinical and research settings. The wartime experiences highlighted the practical utility of psychometric tests in selection, placement, and diagnosis. Following the wars, psychometric testing expanded beyond military and clinical settings, finding new applications in education, industry, and even our personal lives. Aptitude tests like the SAT and ACT became commonplace in college admissions, while personality tests like the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI, gained popularity in workplace settings. The MBTI, based on Carl Jung's theory of psychological types, classifies individuals into 16 distinct personality types, based on their preferences for extroversion or introversion, sensing or intuition, thinking or feeling, and judging or perceiving. Today, psychometric tests are ubiquitous, influencing decisions big and small. From career choices to romantic compatibility, we rely on these tests to provide insights into ourselves and others. However, this widespread use also raises important ethical considerations about fairness, bias, and the potential for misuse. Section 5. The enduring allure and ethical quandaries. The enduring allure of psychometric tests lies in their promise to provide a glimpse into the enigmatic human mind. We are drawn to the idea that we can quantify complex traits like intelligence, personality, and even creativity. These tests offer a sense of order and predictability in a world often characterized by uncertainty. They can help us understand our strengths, identify areas for growth, and navigate the complexities of human relationships. However, the use of psychometric tests is not without its critics. One of the most significant concerns is the potential for bias. Tests developed in one cultural context may not translate well to others, leading to inaccurate or misleading results. Furthermore, tests can perpetuate existing inequalities if they are used to reinforce stereotypes or limit opportunities for certain groups. The history of intelligence testing in particular is fraught with examples of misuse and misinterpretation, often to the detriment of marginalized communities. Another ethical consideration is the issue of privacy. Psychometric tests often delve into deeply personal information, and it's crucial that this information is handled responsibly and ethically. Test takers have the right to know how their data will be used, stored, and protected. Transparency and informed consent are paramount to ensuring that these tests are used ethically and fairly. As we've journeyed through the quirky and captivating history of psychometric tests, we've witnessed both their potential and their limitations. These tests can be valuable tools for understanding ourselves and others, but they are not infallible. It's essential to approach them with a critical eye, recognizing their historical context, potential biases, and ethical implications. Section 6. Psychometrics, a mirror to our minds. So what have we learned from this exploration of psychometric tests? Perhaps the most important takeaway is that these tests, while fascinating and often insightful, are ultimately just tools. They are mirrors reflecting our attempts to understand the complexities of the human mind. Like any tool, they can be used for good or ill, and their value depends largely on how they are developed, administered, and interpreted. As we move forward in this age of big data and artificial intelligence, the ethical considerations surrounding psychometric testing will only become more pressing. We must be vigilant in ensuring that these tests are used responsibly, fairly, and with a deep understanding of their limitations. The future of psychometrics lies not in blindly accepting test results, but in using them thoughtfully and ethically to promote understanding, empathy, and human flourishing. The quest to measure minds began centuries ago with the philosophical musings of Plato and continues today in the labs of neuroscientists and the algorithms of artificial intelligence. While we may never fully unravel the mysteries of the human mind, the journey itself is a testament to our insatiable curiosity and our enduring desire to understand ourselves and the world around us. Perhaps in the end, the most important lesson from the history of psychometric tests is not about finding definitive answers, but about embracing the complexities and nuances of the human experience.